I'm not giving you the reaction you want. I got the reaction I want from Avi and from the crowd. I stood there smiling, holding up a peace sign because I told him I'm a symbol of resistance.
Now that a real man is in both
you're
your
a real
faces,
man.
you can't do anything.
You got to get off the gear though.
Oh, okay.
Recently, I brought to you what I thought was a very telling yet entertaining interaction between myself and a super scary, juiced up anti-Israel activist. Now, I thought it was peak entertainment until one of you sent me his response video, and if I'm being completely honest, he wins. It was way funnier than my initial video. So I thought the only right thing for me to do is share the laughs now with you. So let's watch it. Roman, at least today, he's wearing a shirt.
The protest, but he's cut out 99% of it. He's cut out most of the interview, and he knows why, because it didn't suit his narrative. When
So, okay, he is right. We did have to cut it up because I spent most of that time trying to get an answer from him. I was literally fighting with the batshit crazy woman protecting him. He was hiding behind a little old woman, trying to avoid the questions. But yeah, let's.
Avi came towards me, he was afraid. So was his coward of a bodyguard. He was afraid. So the first thing he said to me, he's like, "Didn't you threaten me?" I'm like, "No, I called you out on social media."
We were so intimidated. We were so scared because, as you remember, it was a freezing cold day, and he had his top off to, I guess, try and intimidate the local Jewish community and their supporters. Yes, Daniel was super afraid. And in fact, what's interesting with this is that I recognized him because it had been reported to me by a rabbi on university campus who had sent me a video of this man called, or identified himself as Roman, had walked up to the rabbi and threatened he was looking for myself and Daniel, my security.
Avi Yemeni, you and your bodyguard, I'm looking for you.
All right.
Hiding count.
Okay, have a good day. We'll see you.
So I recognized him as soon as I seen him. And what I realized immediately is the guy who shows up in the freezing cold with a top off to show everyone how big and scary he is was all bark and no bite, because when Daniel and I were in front of him, especially Daniel, not me, but when Daniel was in front of him, he did nothing except for incoherently rant and rave about how scary he is.
He knows why I called him out. The next question he asked me is, "Do you condemn anti-Semitism?" And this is why he didn't upload that question, because my response was, "I love my Jewish brothers who support Palestine."
Do you condemn anti-Semitism? I am not anti-Semitic to those who want this self-destruction. I'm not anti-Semitic against Jews who believe what I believe in, the destruction of the entire Israel. And this is exactly what Roman had told me. He doesn't believe in Israel. He believes it's all Palestine. So there cannot be a Jewish state. And if you're the kind of Jew that believes in the destruction of the only Jewish state in the world, then Roman is not anti-Semitic to you. See how that works? Not much of an anti-Semite. He only hates 95% of Jews, okay?
He didn't upload that because it doesn't suit his narrative. He's like, "Damn it, this guy's like peaceful." Then
He came to a rally against anti-Semitism with his top off to show everyone how much steroids he takes.
I asked him, "Why did your guard grab a woman by the neck at a university? Why did he grab a student by the neck?" He's like, "Because she grabbed my microphone." So I was like, "Her life is less important than your microphone." He grabbed a woman by the neck, a 6'5" man who acts all big and tough. I told him, "I'll try that with me and see what happens. I can defend myself. You want to act tough in universities? Act tough towards me." That's why I rocked up.
The best thing about this is, okay, so firstly, the footage, she grabbed the mic, I went to grab it back, my security did his job, came in until she let go of the mic, and then he let go of her. She cried victim. We've all seen the video. The idea here that he's saying, "Try that on me," but notice how Roman didn't try and grab the mic because he's smart enough to know he didn't really want to test Daniel.
He's got that. And so he asked me, "What am I doing there?" So if Avi is allowed to go to university encampments and instigate and agitate, and he doesn't report the fact that there's Jews attacking those encampments, then I will rock up to a protest that Avi's hosting or attending. Because I wanted to see what he's all about. I wanted to see if he can face me man to man and tell me the truth. And he admitted it. He admitted that Israel bombed women and children. He admitted it in the video. Then I said, you just admitted the organization that you fight for kills innocents. They're a terrorist organization. He's like, oh, no, they're not. So I'm like, bombing women and children is not terrorism?
Roman, we had the opportunity to discuss this man-to-man, face-to-face on the day. But yeah, I guess you don't understand the definition of intention. So terrorists intentionally breaching a border to target women and children, to rape women, butcher children, kidnap men, women and children. If you can't see how that is a terrorist act in comparison to a defense force fighting those same terrorists and sadly collateral damage, so not targeting of women and children. If you don't see the difference, then I dare say the problem lies with you, or you are just blinded by your hatred.
When I realized, I'm like, I'm not giving you the reaction you want. I got the reaction I want from Avi and from the crowd. I stood there smiling, holding up a peace sign because I told him I'm a symbol of resistance. That I'm not scared, that one person could be more powerful than thousands.
Yes. Keep telling yourself that, Habibi, you got what you want, making a complete fool of your entire insane movement. And most of the clowns who are protesting alongside Roman don't know what they're talking about, and often their own arguments actually prove them wrong. And sometimes in the moment, I even miss it until I watch it back in the footage. For example, recently a student journalist who requested an interview began debating me on the subject at a coffee shop, and I asked him to give me an example of the apartheid he keeps calling Israel. One example. This is what he gave.
A Palestinian teacher in an Israeli classroom. It was footage of the kids that they published on Snapchat chanting, "Burn your village down."
Okay.
What do you think about that?
Okay. If that's true, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Okay. But one, how is that describing an apartheid system? That's not an apartheid system. That's poorly educated little racists.
Now, my response to that was okay, because even if it was true, that doesn't prove apartheid. But actually what I missed in the moment was that his example actually demonstrates precisely how there is no apartheid in Israel. His example is that Israeli kids were being racist to their Palestinian teacher. If it was an apartheid state, that wouldn't be possible for him to be teaching the kids in the very first place. Do you think that blacks in apartheid South Africa were teaching in white schools? Obviously not. If you think it's important for the world to see how insane the anti-Israel camp really is, make sure to like, comment, but most importantly, share it far and wide, not just so everyone can get a laugh, but it's important to share their words, their behavior with everyone, so people in Australia and around the world understand what the other side is really about. And then if you love my new studio here and you want to help us cover the costs, we've got about 10% to go. buildourstudio.com. We're going to be doing plenty more content on all issues, local and international, but we need your help to cover the last costs here. We've got a couple little things to go as well. buildourstudio.com. I cannot wait for what's to come.